What's up, y'all? Today we are going to talk flip speed in skate. How do you make your flip tricks rotate really slow when you're doing a kick flip or a tray flip or whatever? I'm going to show you. So the general idea is that the slower you flick the right stick, the slower your board is going to rotate on your flip tricks. Also, the lower your pop is going to be. The slower you flick, the lower the pop, the slower the flip. But if you just do it on flat ground, the game is going to pop low, but rotate your flip trick really fast. And that's because the game is favoring low pop over flip speed. It cancels out the flip speed being slow to favor that low pop, and it makes sure that you can finish the rotation of your trick before you hit the ground. So if you add height to that input on the right stick, to that slow input, you can get low pop and a slow rotation. So you just need the height to be able to do those flip tricks. And you can do this off something like I just did, or like up a Euro gap. Anything that has enough height to finish the rotation, it will work. There's actually a setting though in your gameplay settings that will affect this a little bit. If you go to gameplay, go to controls, go to Flickit sensitivity, you'll see this setting controls how stick movement speed translates to pop height and flip trick flip speed. That's hard to say. You have three settings here. You have 0, you have 50, which is default, and you have 100. If you input the same like medium flick speed, you're going to get a lower pop and a slower flip at 0. You're gonna get a balanced default experience at 50, and that same flick speed at 100 is gonna give you a little bit higher pop and a little bit faster flick speed. However, at all three of these settings, you can pop low and you can pop slow. It's just harder to do it at 100. You have to flick slower more consistently to get that low pop and that slow flip speed. I find a much more balanced experience as a realistic player at 0, but this is just preference. You guys can play around with this and see what you like. What I really hope the developers add is a setting we can toggle on where the game will favor that slow flip speed over the low pop. So I could flick really slow and get a slow flip, and the game would just automatically make me pop higher to finish a really slow flip based on how slow I flick the stick. I think that could be really cool, and I could just toggle it back and forth when I prefer low pop or when I prefer a slow flip. I'll actually show you towards the end of this video a way that you can kind of get a feel for what that might look or feel like. Just stick around and we'll do this on a certain spot. It's pretty cool. I want to give you an example of like an actual skate spot and how flip speed can work. See this spot here? And I think it's a good example because number one, you're popping over something, and on the other side is some height. So even though when I pop here, I'm on flat ground, because the game can sense that I'm gonna land into this, it's gonna let me pop a little bit slower than I could on flat ground. It's gonna pop really low also. So just going a general kind of slow, realistic speed, doing a backside flip. You can see that one was kind of high. I think we could actually pop lower and slower. That's as low and as slow as possible on the spot. You know, it's flipping a little slower than it would on flat ground because we're going into that bank, but my board literally touches the curb. I was so low. I would have a really hard time popping that low and that slow at 100. It would take me a lot more tries, and I would just have to be like really on it with the low input on the right stick. We can do a couple other tricks here and see what they look like. So yeah, I just find it way easier to get super close to the curb on spots like this and pop as low as I can with Flickit sensitivity at 0. It's just way more consistent. And you know, if I was someone who wanted to pop high consistently and pop my flip tricks really fast, I would just go to 100. And so just play around with those, see what you prefer. All right, so we're here at the mega ramp. And I think this is a great example of what toggling like a favor of slow flip over low pop could look like. I would want the game to just pop me higher to flip the trick slower, and I could toggle that, you know. But if you just pop like right on the edge of this, they flip a lot slower because the game thinks that it has time to finish that. And we're just gonna skate this spot and do some some slow flips on the mega ramp here. I love making the transition skating on these megas and stuff look really stylish. It's just so fun to me, even though it's not the most realistic. And then yeah, just popping into this is like my favorite part because you can actually flip those flip tricks really low and slow at the same time. So oh goodness. What is this guy growing down here? Doing pre-wind stuff off of the megas is so fun too. Might be going too fast here. Oh no, we're good. Wow. It's tough to skate that angle. Pumping works so much better now, and you can actually get speed and like clear big stuff like that. It's rad. Anyways, I hope that gives you some insight into the slow flips. There's lots of ways to have fun with it. I do really truly feel like a toggle that lets us choose which one it favors would be great, just to let us like get a slow flip 100% of the time. I hope the little mega ramp part was fun too, but I will see y'all next time. Thanks. Peace.